And you never see people walk on stilts that are like this tall, right?
Those are called high heels.
But they're not stilts.
What makes them?
I think that we should have.
No, hang on.
I think that we should have a wider range of stilt heights. Because personally, I don't know how comfortable, especially after this situation, I would feel standing on top of a really, really tall stilt or two.
I think there are stilt heights.
Are there?
Adjustable. Yeah. Because like
Sure.
at the circus, you can get like 15-foot stilts.
Really?
I think. Keep going. Okay.
Okay, we've got it all sorted out.
The helmet. Tell me about the helmet.
Stalling.
The helmet.
So, I went over a hill, and at the top of the hill, left
You let go.
the ground and the bicycle, and went over the bicycle, and then I landed, and I accidentally, or maybe it was a good thing, broke the fall with my wrist, and then the bike came and landed back on top of me.
On your head.
Well,
On your back.
so on my back.
Yeah, okay.
And it was not great, but luckily I was wearing a helmet.
And who? Okay. No, go ahead.
Sava saves the day.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And
Because shoot, I thought you were gonna say this. Basically, what happened is Dacha took this nasty fall, and because he doesn't remember it, I tell him it looked cool.
it looked awesome. It looked really cool. Anyway, I'm wearing a helmet.
What
right now?
What happened was that he was unconscious. He didn't have consciousness.
It was a nasty fall.
It was a pretty nasty fall. And so there I was at the top of the hill waiting for him to finish, and then he just doesn't get up. And so then I ran down the hill to fetch him. He wasn't doing so hot.
But I was wearing a helmet, which helped. Which is why I'm wearing a helmet today.
I'll wait.
To remind you that whenever you're wearing a bicycle, even when you don't think you're going to fall, as I didn't think I was going to fall. I'd been there before.
Because the last thing you said before you fell was watch me catch cool air off this jump.
Be sick. And that wasn't, but that's fine. We won't talk about that. Anyway, even if you don't think you're going to fall, you should wear a helmet.
Yes.
Because it's cool.
Only cool kids wear their helmets.
That's right. But now I'm going to actually take this helmet off because I can't play the violin with this neck strap.
And chances are, while Dacha's playing violin, he won't go over any massive jumps. So
that's right. And
the risk is low.
Anyway, so I timed this whole thing perfectly so that it wouldn't affect the previous broadcast. And now I'm here, and I could still play with one hand and maybe a little pizzicato on the other hand.
Oh, yeah?
Right, because it's currently healing a minor non-displaced hairline fracture in the radius, which is going very smoothly at the moment. So, other exciting things. We're now in the period of the 8 days of Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights. So if you're celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. We've got some...
Right, it's the hair. Yeah, there. They're just annoying me. You got it.
A little feather. We have got some Hanukkah music.
That we do.
So happy Hanukkah. If that is what you celebrate, here we go.
We got one more.
Happy Hanukkah. Yes. The dreidel song. Here we go. Happy Hanukkah. Woo!
Yes.
That's awesome. Cool. So, right.
We got one piece.
Oh, we got another piece he has to play.
So when Dacha's wrist is not in playing, is unable to be played with,
it's not in top condition
at the moment,
in
we
the
have to
shop.
make adjustments. So,
One must be flexible.
for example, it's
Or-
difficult in a splint to be moving
Stiff.
your wrist the way that is necessary or required when you move the bow. So what Dacha did is he pitched the string. Pizzicato is just plucking the string. Another thing we can do is we can, together between the three of us, we have 3 working arms.
Between the three of us,
Between the two of us,
we have 3 working
we have
arms.
3 working arms between the 2 of us, which is more than enough to play 1 violin. In fact, 150% of what you need to play 1 violin.
I think we should give it a try.
What do you say?
I support that. So this is a classic.
A classic on the show.
The man John Williams himself.
Mhm.
One of the most famous compositions, main title to Star Wars. Here we go.
Just for better audio quality, the furnace.
Yeah, here we go. We're gonna just shut
the
up.
background
The furnace
noise.
here. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, oh, I can hear now.
Nice.
You hear that?
The sound of silence. Here we go.
Can you roll up the sleeve for me? Thanks. We can touch hats if we want.
Ah,
Boom.
nice. Okay,
That
so
was basically as good as I can play by myself.
we're just adjusting a little bit. That's fine.
We're learning new things with pizzazz.
That's right. So now Sava's gonna tell us about some expressions.
Oh, or before. Actually, no, you're right. That does fit in. Okay, here we go.
As I said, nobody trusts me
Hang on.
around these parts.
I have to put on my expression telling hat. Okay. To say that you're on cloud 9 means that you're happy. You're blissful, as some say. But what is... where does the expression to be on cloud 9 actually come from? Well, thanks for asking. In 1950, when the United States Weather Bureau categorized different clouds, they broke them up into 9 tiers based on how high up they are in the atmosphere. The highest, being the 9th tier, was cumulonimbus clouds, which are often roughly 40,000 feet in height, so they can find themselves at the top tier, the highest up in the atmosphere. And so when it says to be on cloud 9, you're sort of above everything else. You're above all the other clouds of sorrow and sadness. You're blissful, floating above everything else. You're on cloud 9. Speaking of 9, to have 9 lives, like saying a cat has 9 lives, that expression is derived from ancient Egypt, when part of the Egyptian god mythology was that oftentimes cats were considered sacred animals, and so sometimes gods would take the form of cats. And so Ra, the Egyptian sun god, gave life to 8 other gods, and when Ra needed to go to the underworld, he would take the form of a cat, the physical form of a cat, and he would embody his own life as well as the 8 other lives of the other gods that he created in order to make sure that he enters and exits the underworld safely. He needed to have all the insurance, if you will, and so he was a cat that had 9 lives. And then the final one, to have a chip on your shoulder, this comes from the 19th century American schoolyards. When kids would want to pick fights, they would often put a chip of wood on the shoulder, I believe on their own shoulder, to show like I'm ready to fight. And if someone were to come up to them and knock that chip off their shoulder, that would be considered means enough, like consent to fight, basically. And so when someone has a chip on their shoulder, metaphorically speaking, they have that wood chip on their shoulder and they're looking around ready for someone to knock off that wood chip and ready to fight. Basically ready to pick a fight is the expression. So there you go.
Well, there you go. Now, this is very exciting. We've got our next song. We're going to be making use of some more pizzicato. This is in the Hall of the Mountain Kings, in der Halle aus dem Bergkönig, by the composer Edvard Grieg in his larger suite called Peer Gynt.
I wish I had a hall in a mountain. I think that'd be really cool.
You would if you were a mountain king.
Oh.
There you go. That's what it sounded like if in the hall of the Mountain King.
I wonder what was happening in that hall. Maybe it was
perhaps some dancing.
Okay, I can.
But that's a great question to ask. I have some other great questions that need to be asked.
Oh, excellent transition.
Yeah, maybe not answers.
That was top tier transition.
Why is the alphabet in that order? Is it because of that song? I thought it was good. If I melt,
no, you're right though.
If I melt dry ice,
why is like P after like C? You know what I mean?
If I melt dry ice, can I take a bath but not get wet? Yes.
Oh.
How do they get the deer to cross at the yellow road signs?
Well, no, they put the yellow road signs where the deer are most likely to cross it. It's not.
We didn't need these kinds of answers.
Oh, you're right.
How do you know?
Dude, that's crazy, dude.
How do you know that honesty is the best policy until you've tried some of the others?
But here's the thing, though. It's really not, because even when I do tell the truth about who ate like a lot of the chocolate, I get like even more in trouble because people also know it's me. You know what I mean? But if I didn't say that I ate a lot of the chocolate, no one would know it's me, so then I won't get in trouble.
How do you throw away a garbage can?
It's not the best. See, hang on. No, hold that thought. Honesty being the best policy is fake news created by the parents to get children to tell the truth. And that's facts.
Wow. How do you throw away a garbage can?
In a dumpster.
How does a thermos know if a drink should be kept hot or cold?
doesn't. It just.
But it does.
It just insulates it so it doesn't.
Do you realize?
No, you're right though.
How many holes there could be if people would just take the time to clean the dirt out of them?
What? Oh!
If a word in the dictionary were misspelled, how would we know?
If a word is in a dictionary misspelled, it's not misspelled. It's just.
But it could be. If there was a typo in the
No, you're right.
dictionary,
You're right.
it was misspelled. Why didn't Noah swat those 2 darn mosquitoes?
Because mosquitoes are necessary for the circle of life.
Why do hot dogs come 10 to a package and hot dog buns only 8?
Because the big shot at the hot dog company met up with the big shot at the bun company and decided to stick it to the American people. Well, George Banks says no. Who's George Banks?
Who's George Banks?
Me. Okay, go ahead.
You should all watch The Father of the Bride. It's a really funny movie.
It is.
Why is it that night falls, but day breaks? If night's the one to fall, night should break, and day is just there.
Or if Dacha falls...
Day didn't ask for any of this.
If Dacha falls, Dacha breaks.
That's real funny. Okay. Okay, well, now...
We got some jokes?
We got some jokes.
Or before that, do we have something else? Huh? See, I line up the shows nicely, but Dacha just messes with them, so I don't know where he's going with this. I'll let him take it.
We're going to talk about conducting, because that's one thing that I can sort of do with this hand.
It's that binder that it's. Yeah, I'll go get it.
No, Sava's going to. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about conducting. So I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of conducting for a piece.
Hang on. What's conducting? I have no idea. I've never heard this. Conducting.
Great question.
I thought trains got conducted.
Conducting is when somebody silently guides a piece of music.
Uh-huh.
Now,
So like a DJ guides a piece of music? Or
this is through telepathic communication.
uh-huh.
Now, and live. Now,
So a conductor.
There are several
What Dacha's
things-
trying to say is a conductor stands in front of an orchestra
or
and guides it.
any sort of ensemble or other
That's true.
thing.
Chorus. Yeah.
So, there's certain things that a conductor needs to get across to the musicians. Usually, there wouldn't be just one musician per conductor. That wouldn't make much sense. But that's all we got. That's all we could find. Okay.
Dacha found me. Okay, so what is
several
a
things that a conductor needs to get across to the musicians. One of the most important is
the conductor telling the ensemble who is sitting in the audience?
No.
Okay.
The feeling of the music. Okay, so for example,
And what does that entail?
this has a different feeling than this. Right? One of them is a little bit more easy, and the other is more sudden. So
it's body language?
exactly.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. So
Okay.
through a conductor's body language,
This is very
they can
well
demonstrate.
prepared.
I'm not much of a conductor, but
No!
other conductors out there, through their body language, show the musicians the feeling, the mood, the texture, the viscosity of the music.
Ooh. Huge
Something
chem guy
else?
right here.
Something else that they show is a time signature.
Uh-huh.
So the time signature, as we've talked about on the show, it dictates the organization of the beats in the music.
Mhm.
So beats in the music is like what you would clap along to if you were clapping. You're clapping to the beats. Those are the beats every time you clap. And so
If you listen to pop music, it's often the bass drum. The boom, 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 boom. That's just in the background.
So
Or if you listen to rap or trap, it's a lot of the percussion. Boom, 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 ratata, boom. Okay,
so
that's my impression of rap music. Go ahead. Okay,
beats
so
are all often arranged in measures.
Uh-huh.
So a measure contains beats, and a piece is made up of measures. So you have a whole piece divided up into measures, and each measure has beats in it, and the time signature tells you which denomination gets the beat, and how many of those beats there are in each measure. So we're gonna play a song right now that is in 4/4, which means that
there are
in each measure there are 4 beats, and
the quarter note gets the beat.
Quarter note gets that beat. So, but there are 4 beats per measure. So when a conductor conducts in 4, a piece in 4, they need to make 4 gestures to define 4 beats. And those gestures are always, for the first beat, down. That's the first beat. That comes right when the baton reaches an inflection point down here, 1. And then off to the inside, 2. Then to the outside, 3. And up to the top, 4. And so you have a beat that happens at this inflection point, at this inflection point, at this inflection point, and at this inflection point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So,
and what I will be doing is I will be responding to Dacha's body language.
And we're going to see whether we can trick Sava. Woo!
Woo! Okay, fine, whatever.
I will be trying to see. So this is Gavotte from François Gossec.
Here we go.
Joseph Gossec. Joseph. François Joseph Gossec. Here we go. Ooh. This
one thing
key signatures also exist in pieces.
The conductor.
This one is in D major.
The one thing the conductor does not tell the orchestra is the key signature.
But they can. It's in D major.
You know my favorite conductor. There's some good ones. Okay, we got Dudamel.
Oh, great.
You have Dacha as a conductor. My favorite is Copper. Actually.
Copper's a great conductor. Thank you, Marina. Here we go. Oh, that was the end of the piece. I thought we were gonna. Hey!
Oftentimes, the conductor knows when the piece ends.
One of us made a special arrangement for this occasion, and only this occasion, and kept it to themselves. Thank you. That's one of the great fears of being conductors. That musicians will run away from you, like that.
Speaking of which, Dacha's got some jokes.
That's right. I got some jokes. Let me pull them up right here. Ready?
We got some good bass going.
Knock knock.
Joy gives a shout out to
Fed. Yeah.
Fed.
Federico Cortese, music director of the Boston Youth Symphony Orchestras.
Also conductor of the Harvard Radcliffe Orchestra.
That's right. Reminds us that we should say thank you to everybody for helping us support the Boston Youth Symphony Orchestras by watching these broadcasts.
Yes.
And you've helped us raise over $3,000 for the Boston Youth Symphony Orchestras, and also for the Equal Justice Initiative and NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund since the pandemic started. So thank you very much for all of your support. And with that, we will tell some jokes.
That we will.
Knock knock.
Give us some jokes. Who's there?
Control freak. Now you say control freak who? Okay. Did you hear about the actor who fell through the floorboards?
No. Did he break a leg?
Yeah, he was just going through a stage.
A
man tells his doctor, "Doc, help me. I'm addicted to Twitter." And the doctor says, what? Sorry, I don't follow you. What? Get it?
Because you can follow someone on Twitter.
What does Charles Dickens keep in his spice rack?
Probably salt.
The best of times and the worst of times.
Oh, I get it, because it's time.
The time. There we go. Well,
Time.
that's time.
That's
I promise.
right.
I promise.
Yeah.
Why should the number 288 never be mentioned?
Because it is not
It
prime.
is simply too gross. A gross is a dozen, meaning 144 of something.
Yeah.
And 288 is 244.
Too gross. Or you could have said 2,144. It's too gross. Like 2 and then 1 4.
Why did what did the Tin Man say when he got run over by a steamroller?
Oh man.
Oh, curses! Foil again!
I like my response better. Oh man.
Well, why did the yogurt go to the art exhibition?
To see the...
Because it was cultured.
Oh.
Once my dog ate all the Scrabble tiles, and then he kept leaving messages around the house. Last one.
Shout out to Jackie. Where's Jackie?
He's around here somewhere. What's the difference? This is the best one of the whole lot.
The whole lot.
This time I read through the jokes.
All right, this better be a
What's
good joke. Hang
the-
on. Okay, tell the joke.
What's the difference between a cat and a comma?
The cat... You don't put cats in the middle of sentences, and you don't feed commas.
The cat has claws at the end of paws, but the comma is a pause at the end of a clause. I like that one. I thought that was good. Oh, it's all right.
Our laugh track.
It's not bad. Sweet. Nice. So, that's cool. Now we're gonna talk about hand washing, which is something that you should do more than ever now
In
that
your
people
very own pocket sink.
are staying inside.
Shameless self-promo. You ever want to wash your hands, but you don't want to get in those dirty public restrooms? Grab a pocket sink. It goes in the pocket. Wow. Anyway.
So some safety advices.
Yeah.
From the people up top. Wash your hands very often.
Okay.
Wear a mask.
Hang on. They already made a vaccine. I don't have to do that.
Great point. Although not true. Vaccine. Although
I'm going to use that next time. Great point. It's just not true.
even though one of the vaccines, Pfizer vaccine, has just gotten approved
And recommended, actually.
but approved finally in record time. It will not. It's predicted that it will not make a sizable dent in the number of cases until the springtime. That's because it will take time for these doses to be distributed and administered and manufactured for everybody. So just because the vaccine exists doesn't mean A, that you'll get it soon, and B, that it'll protect you if the other people have gotten it. So
Wait, so you're telling me that even if a vaccine exists, I have to wait till it gets put in me before I'm...
well, and even
expected
a
to
little
be
bit beyond then.
Okay, so
Because we have to wait for
so it's still equally as
as
important
many people as possible
to wear my
get it.
mask and to wash my
Exactly.
hands, use hand
Wear a
sanitizer.
mask whenever you're, outside, or especially when you cannot maintain a 6-foot
Social
radius around you of emptiness. So,
and how long do you wash your hands for? I forget.
20 seconds, which is exactly
Oh.
the length of the next song that we're gonna play.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Yes, right.
And here we go.
I will be joining Dacha on his pizzicato. Oh yeah, I didn't keep up there.
Broken hand. Thank you for joining us. Remember to stay safe, wear a mask, and we'll see you next time. Woo!
Yes!